What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Last Word Music. And today is a special day, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we review my favorite album of all time. If you watched our top 10 albums of all time video, number one on my list, The Eminem Show. That's what we've come to review today. Classic album review coming back at you. Installment 2. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Eminem Show. This is going to be a good one, folks. This is going to be a good one. Scotty, how you doing today?
I'm good, man.
Fantastic.
Nice. So who's gonna start off with this, baby? Who's gonna start us off? Opening remarks.
Well, I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Okay. I guess I'll go first then. You know, coming into this, I know previous videos, I have not been kind towards Eminem and his content.
No,
but hey! I like the album.
Hey,
it was a good album.
Okay.
I listened to it. I went into Apple Music. First song that I listened to, White America. I don't know. I didn't know if I was messing with it. I kept going through the album and I was like, okay, this is a pretty solid. And then I listened to it a second time because I thought it didn't do it justice. Just one listen through, and I really improved my mood on this album on the second listen through. I thought it was actually a really good album, and I understand why it's a classic.
Scotty.
Yeah, so kind of like I was saying before we started the recording, Chuck, the first time I listened to it, I wasn't super thrilled. It just sounded solid, but I listened to it a second time, and then I listened to it a third time, and every time I listened, it just kept getting better. And, to be honest, by the end of it, I just thought it was a phenomenal album. It's such a unique experience listening to him talk about kind of like grappling with his personal and professional status that he's achieving now.
Absolutely.
And it was a very sharp turn from the Marshall Mathers LP and Slim Shady LP, which were, just kind of like violent outcries almost.
Mm-hmm.
And here he's kind of like talking more, kind of like breaking the fourth wall, almost like analyzing
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really just a fascinating piece. I liked a lot of the features on here. It was also from his previous albums, the production, because this was one of his first albums that he really started to self-produce a lot of, whereas the previous ones have been majority produced by Dre.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the production on here actually held up really well. There's some classics like Without Me, Till I Collapse, So, yeah. I like songs like Superman, too. That was a good one. Cleaning Out My Closet was a brutal
Cleaning Out
listen.
My Closet.
That's
Dude,
it.
ain't no other rapper made a diss track on his mom. I'm sorry. Eminem's a bad.
And this was, I felt like here, he just displayed all of his technical prowess as a rapper, his speed, his flow, just at its peak, without kind of some of the stuff that we see on some of his more recent albums, some of the failures, kind of like poor lyrics, like when he was talking about, in our Kamikaze thing, when he was talking about revivals, the Porterhouse and this stuff, all that stuff, it's missing here. It's just it's the peak of Eminem, and his lyricism's top notch, his flows are top notch. I thought it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not a lot that I have to say on the album that I haven't said already.
Really?
We literally just made a video where I described why this is my favorite album ever.
Chuck, I thought you could talk about this album for days.
I could, but that wouldn't make very good content. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Trying to get the views up on YouTube.
Feel you. Get our bread up.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Okay. Trying to get monetized.
Well, let me pose this question. What do you guys think is the best song on here? Not necessarily most iconic, but your favorite song through all your listens. What are you guys feeling?
Well, besides Without Me, because Without Me would be
that's
my
iconic.
favorite song.
That's iconic.
I really liked Square Dance, bro.
Square Dance was good.
I really liked My Dad's Going Crazy.
I thought that was pretty good.
I
didn't.
I thought it was cool how he incorporated his daughter into the
album. Dude, that was awesome seeing
Haley juxtapose his personal life with his career.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. For me personally, I really liked Say Goodbye to Hollywood. I thought it was probably one of his. I don't want to say one of his most heartfelt, but I thought it was really deep. Just talking about
There's a lot of stuff.
how the effects of like going from having absolutely nothing. And I know this is a topic that's nowadays it's been covered like 100 times, but hearing it from Eminem talking about all he had was like being an MC back in when he was young and he was like getting it out of the mud, and now he's in Hollywood and it's like getting to him, and he's he's like he's being worn down mentally. All these people will take advantage of him, squeeze him for every penny he has, and so he's just like, I got to get out of here. I thought it was a really good song. Just the whole starting at the kiss, like the skit. I thought that was the best skit on the album. I thought it was actually pretty funny where he's like, why'd you bring that thing? And he's like cocking the gun and he's like, all that. I thought that was
not even loaded, bitch.
I thought that was loaded. Yeah. I thought that was the best. He's like, you're gonna fucking kill me one day. And then it goes right into like the soldier where he's talking about like pistol whipping the the bouncer and everything. I thought that was my like that was the most entertaining segment for me. But I think the whole
I thought a lot of the album was very funny.
Yeah,
it was pretty comedic, but he kept it real at certain points too, which was nice contrast. It wasn't like too laughable where it was just like all jokes. He kept it serious at points, like you talked about. Yeah. But for the most part, a lot of the skits were funny. A lot of his lyrics, and his word plays are pretty comedic too. So
yeah,
it's just his rhyme schemes are legendary, bro.
They are. Yeah, the crazy rhyme schemes on here. Crazy rhyme schemes. I thought the song "Say What You Say" was great with Dre. I thought Dre's feature was amazing on the song, and just the whole like concept of the song. It's like, yo, you can talk shit, like you say what you say, but you got to say what you say to our face when we see you, because Eminem's gonna pull the iron on you if he sees you in public talking bad about Revival. That's iconic. It's a porterhouse, and I thought that was great. And then I think the whole like ending stretch of songs, My Dad's Gone Crazy, Till I Collapse, Say What You Say, the whole thing. I think the whole ending is really good.
Yeah, I mean, the one maybe critique I would have is in the middle of the album, it does feel like it goes on for a little bit too long, maybe. Because I think it has about an 80-minute runtime. But like you said, the closing stretch is so phenomenal that, at the end, you're just kind of like, you don't really feel that anymore.
Yeah. I thought it could have done without, despite how good of a sample it is. I don't think the album really needed Sing for the Moment. I thought it was a great song talking about how talking about how Eminem and how rap influences the youth, and like how these kids that don't have anything to look up to are like looking towards these rappers like Eminem.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then.
I think I could have done without it.
Are you bashing the song, or are you bashing the sample?
I literally started off my sentence was despite how epic the sample was.
Okay.
I didn't think
because I wasn't sure if you were saying you could do without the song or you could do without the sample within that context of the song.
No, I could have just done without the song. It was good. I just didn't need it in the album,
Okay.
Hey, Chuck, you wanna tell the audience a little bit about your outfit?
Oh, so before this, I was wearing a blue hoodie and just like a hat underneath it. And Dean was just like, I got on the Zoom call before Scotty did, and it was just me and Dean. And Dimitri was like, Chuck, we were reviewing the Eminem show today, bro. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I really thought you would go full out Eminem for me. And I was like,
I thought he would.
Bet. You know what? Pause. So I threw off the sweatshirt. I grabbed the only white tank top I could find in my closet.
The white
tank. And I got the black backwards hat. So we going full slim today.
Yeah, I was hoping you would shave your head too, Chuck. But
I was hoping he would bleach it with peroxide, but oh well.
Wait, time constraints, man. Time constraints. All right. So you guys want to move on to the rubric then?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. First off is lyricism, boys. Lyricism. What do y'all think?
I'll let Scotty go first on this one.
I mean, kind of like we already talked about, I'd give it a solid, 18. There were a couple points where I feel like he may have been a little bit too far on the comedy side.
Yeah.
Kind of what's the song? Drips with Obi Trice.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god,
I
dude.
felt like it was a little over the top.
A little wild. It was a little wild.
But,
Dude,
for the most part,
I mean, M's verse was bad, but Obi Trice's verse was like disgusting.
Yeah, it was
man.
nasty, bro.
It
Like I was listening to it.
gross.
I was
I had to
listening to it like
pause the song. I was like, "What did he just say?"
I was listening to it like around my family, and I had to like go down to my room. This stuff was wild, bro. He's talking about some.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say any of it.
Yeah.
But to those of you who have listened to the Eminem show, you'll know what I'm saying.
You haven't heard the song? Go listen to it.
That's another song I probably could have like. I didn't really need.
Dude, I could have. That's the one song on the album I hate.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was necessary.
Which is unfortunate because Obi Trice was a feature.
Yeah, but I agree with Scott. I gave it an 18 out of 22,
Okay.
because there's no cringy bars, not really, no cringy bars, not nearly as much. Pretty much no like bar stuffing where he's like adding in extra words to make the rhyme scheme fit, or at least when he does it, it's more natural, and he can he can just like play on
like
and
this,
go
like
through
the
it.
second verse until I collapse.
Yeah. And he's he's got crazy rhyme schemes on here. I know rhyming is a different part of the whole rubric, but I think that kind of accounts for lyricism as well. So high marks, Eminem. Good job.
Yeah, so I gave it a 19 just because like
You just gotta be extra. You just have to be extra.
in my opinion, this is like his second best instance of lyricism other than Marshall Mathers LP1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's fantastic lyricism, man. Like he definitely chooses his words very carefully. The double entendres are just crazy in any given Eminem project. So
yeah,
always
especially.
Man, I slept on Revival. All right.
I know it's a porterhouse, bro. It's literally a porterhouse. Why would you go to Burger King and get a quarter pounder when Revival's a porterhouse, bro?
Bro, if you sleep on Revival, you better get insomnia. All right.
Bro, we gotta review
Revival. That beef
we gotta review that album, bro.
Never living that beef down. You want to review Revival? Bet next vid.
Okay. We'll review. I don't know about next vid, but Revival. I can't be listening to too much Eminem. It'll like destroy my brain.
No.
Okay, we'll give it a few weeks, then we'll review Revival.
Scotty's not about it. Chuck and I will settle this off camera. But
settle this. What is there to debate, dog?
Huh?
What argument is there?
Yeah, I guess not settle it. We'll just discuss
how bad Revival. I don't think Revival's like bad. I just think it's not as good as anything else he's put.
Okay. But back to the topic. I'm gonna
the next narrative.
Yeah, album narrative. Chuck and I were discussing this before we got on the call. I think the album narrative, it's pretty cool where, at least to me, it seemed, he's like getting on stage and he's talking about what it's like being in the public eye and talking about the pitfalls of fame and all of that, and like talking about what it does to you mentally. A little bit of the toxic relationship stuff, not in the narrative, but just.
But it's the thing that it's because it's happening to him like that.
Yeah, it's more understandable in this instance, just where he was at in this point in life. I gave it a 13 out of 20 just because I didn't think that
13.
I didn't think that there was anything like any like crazy overarching narrative or anything. It was no like TPAB or anything like that. But it was still solid, and it had like Chuck said, there are like smaller narratives going throughout the album.
Yeah. That's what we discussed.
No, I don't think it was anything like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my score.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty, what you feel?
Scotty, I actually gave it a 16. Yeah, I was a little higher on the album narrative and sequence.
Okay.
Pretty much all the points you talked about, but I thought it was he did a very good job of just keeping it focused, the whole album, and keeping it ambitious, as opposed to some of his later stuff where he kind of seems to like ramble, and it doesn't seem like. No, but my point is, I don't know. Whenever it felt like he was going on too long with something, like comedically, he would switch it up and he would introduce something serious, or he would introduce something heartfelt. And so I thought, just the sequence of the album fit very well. I thought the songs flowed together nicely. from track to track. It wasn't choppy. So
I want to clarify. I also thought the sequence was really solid, but I just think what pulled down my score, like if it was just sequence, I'd probably be at a 16-2, but I just wasn't as high on the whole narrative of the album. But I thought it was still solid.
Okay.
What we got? Chuck, let's hear it, bro.
I gave it a 17.
Of course.
For kind of all the reasons you said combined, plus my own interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys were talking about,
I'm curious. What's the interpretation?
Well, so the sequence, how all the songs fit together, and how Deem, you were talking about the bunch of like little sub narratives that were going on throughout the album. I was thinking about the album like as a whole and how all these little sub narratives kind of combine together. It's like he's dealing with the pitfalls of fame, and that's kind of why his marriage falls apart, and that's why he's talking about all that. And the Eminem show, if you will, is kind of his facade that he puts up and kind of wants the public to see him as. And that's why you get all these songs about him acting crazy and him just being like an absolute nut job. You got the skit, like the kiss with him, like with the gun in the car.
Yeah.
And you see all these things, and it's like, well, that's him. That's like we're watching him like a show. However, it's all a facade. It's all a mask. It's all what he's putting out there. And then you get like lower in the album, and it's like you see he still does have a heart, and he still does care with songs like Haley's song, where he writes like he's singing, so it's not great, but like
I thought his singing voice was actually solid on this album. Like
that was okay.
His voice did not get annoying to me.
Yeah, it did get annoying like it does in later albums, but like it's still not great because he sings a lot more in like Encore. Which has Mockingbird, which is fantastic, but like the rest of the album after that is not great. But you can see as the album progresses that the facade we kind of see him as is kind of all built up. And that
he's always saying like, you don't know Marshall. Like
exactly.
So
it seems to me.
So that's kind of how.
Yeah, it seems to me almost like it's almost like he's portraying his life as like reality TV almost, you know?
Yeah. Well, he said the reason why he titled it, he was thinking like, you know, oh, my life is such like a TV show. It's like the Jerry Springer show. And then he was like, wait a minute, like I should call this the Eminem show. Like it is, you know, it is a TV show. So
yeah.
So that's kind of how I interpreted it. So I gave it like a 17.
Okay. So next up we got artist Flo on the album. You know, straight off, I give it a 8 out of 10 just because I didn't think there were – well, I thought there were, you know, a lot of the album was pretty incredible flows and everything. There were a couple that I wasn't, like, huge on like just you know, off, like, drips. I wasn't really messing with his verse like that much, you know. Like,
nobody was messing with his flow.
I wasn't going crazy. And then I wasn't, like, too hot on a couple of the flows on, like, White America. But other than that, I thought the album was really solid. You know, I could see myself.
You weren't messing with the flows on White America?
I thought
some of them. I thought a lot of White America was good, but there were just a couple points where I was like, it's a little, you know, it's just getting a little old for me. But you know, I think if when I go back and re-listen to the album, I could see it bumping up to a 9.
Okay,
definitely. But as of right now, 8.
Let's go.
I actually gave him 9.5 for flow. I thought this was
it's totally fair.
You know, this was like peak Eminem at his prime, and he's honestly one of the most technically proficient rappers ever in terms of his ability to rap fast, quick. You know, like jam it in, but naturally. So you know, I thought his flow was phenomenal. I gave him 9.5.
Fair.
Come on, boys. You already know.
With the perfect 10.
You already know.
Yeah, I can see it, Chuck. I'm not. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, as Scotty said, this is his prime, man. This is Eminem at his peak, and me being the stand. Like, come on, like, what else am I gonna give it? You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah, that's totally fair. Okay,
you
next.
Sound a little disinterested, Dave.
Huh?
Just like no.
I'm just looking at
Revival sucks.
I mean, it's a quarter pound. I mean, not a quarter pounder. It's a porterhouse, man.
Porterhouse.
No, you could go to you could get a quarter pounder at McDonald's, but if you want a porterhouse, look at Revival. All right.
That's fair. You can go listen to Revival and tell me how it is.
Bet I will.
Next up, we got wordplay and rhymes. Straight off, I gave this a 9 out of 10. There were a lot of crazy rhyme schemes on this thing, throughout the whole album. A lot of great wordplay, a lot of double entendres, stuff like that, and not to mention, thank God, so much less cringy like joke lines in this album. Like I can't even remember like a horrible one. I can't remember
Yeah, I
anything
don't think
like
there was one.
like I'm sacrilegious or anything like that. I can't remember those.
No, he's not
Feel
saying
me?
I'm sacrilegious.
me?
He's calling Tyler sacrilegious.
Who?
Tyler, the creator.
Oh, okay. Well,
That was the bar.
either way, I didn't like the bar, but yeah, I gave
What
it a
about-
9 out of 10.
What about the candle bar?
Yeah, no, I wasn't messing with that off Music to Be Murdered by either.
Scotty,
Scotty, what'd you feel?
I gave it another 9.5. Yeah, I thought this
Okay.
was phenomenal. Like you talked
just
about,
give
the
it a
rhyme
10.
Rhyme schemes were incredible here. I'm sorry, Chuck. There were a few moments where I was like, a couple of jokes that just didn't really land type of stuff with the wordplay, but it was very rare. This is top-notch material for just an example of I don't know, the skill that rappers can show, and you miss that a lot in today's
true.
modern landscape of rap.
There's not as many of those.
Yeah.
Petey's
Was
back.
that Pete?
Petey's back.
That was perhaps
Shout out once again.
Shout out to the man.
Young goat
Shout out
Peter.
Pete.
He's got
Shout out
messed
young
up.
Pete. All right, boys.
What we got next?
Come on now. Come on. Back
Okay.
to back.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
can see it. I can see it.
Back to back.
Go.
Let's go. What we got next? Let's see if we can make it 3. Let's see if we can make it a three-peat. Artist, voice, and delivery. Chuck, I just want to get it straight off. I want to see if the three-peat is happening right now.
10, Chuck?
Do we get the 10?
Quite possibly, boys. Yes.
Really?
Quite possibly. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, triple 10s. I like it.
Perfect 10.
Shocking. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that, Chuck.
Come on, man. It's like, bro, from everything I said from the narrative category, kind of puts it into the artist voice and delivery, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, from what I said, how could it not be a 10? You know what I'm
Fair.
saying?
Yeah.
Dean, how about you?
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Mhm.
I thought it was really good overall. A couple times where I'm just not super into Eminem's voice in the first place, so that's just all. Other than that, it was great for the most part. What you feeling, Scotty?
Yeah, I gave it a 9. I thought for honestly probably one of the first times I was listening to an Eminem album, his singing voice wasn't bad at all. His rapping voice, his
true.
delivery was phenomenal. Yeah, I just thought all around his voice was more than just bearable. And on some of his other albums, it gets tiresome listening to his voice because you mentioned before it can be kind of high pitched sometimes and a little screechy. But here it was great for me. Yeah.
All right. Features. Boys, the streak's broken. I'm sorry.
Streak is broken. I'm assuming it was the culprit is Drips.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Obi Trice, bro, and also Dina Ray off Superman,
that was a little,
I'm not the biggest fan of Superman to begin with, but
neither am I, to be honest. I
like Superman. I just didn't like Dina Ray's part.
Yeah.
Fair.
But if it wasn't for them, bro, that song with D12, it makes me so happy every time.
It was really good. It was really good when the music stops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the score? 9? 9, fair. Okay. I gave it an 8. Just because, I deducted 1 point for Drips and 1 point for Superman. But other than that, D12 was great, Dre was great, all around pretty solid.
Yep, same here. I gave it an 8.
Nice.
Okay. Production.
I gave it a 9. I thought, overall, you can see that Eminem has learned a lot off self-producing, off of being under Dre. My one thing, I didn't like the beat on Square Dance.
Really?
I don't like that song.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't like the song as a whole. But other than that, impeccable production. It was great. Great samples, great mixing, all of it.
Chuck,
Chuck,
wanna
do you
go
have
next?
something to say?
Bro, it's a 10. Come on.
Shocking.
It's a 10, far and away.
So you're telling me there's not a single point on this album where you were like, oh, this production's like,
I didn't think the production ever slipped, bro. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man.
Okay,
Even
I
in
guess
songs
you
I
can make
didn't
that
like,
argument. That's fair.
even in songs I didn't like Superman,
Mm-hmm.
like the production was like kind of good. It's just like it was just the like actual context of what Eminem was rapping about, where I was
That's
just
fair.
like,
That's fair.
okay, but no, dude, songs like bro, White America goes hard first off, and then Square Dance goes hard. I don't know what you're talking about, and then you obviously got Till I Collapse with the nice bass in the background. You got Without Me with really nice synth and really nice hi-hats over the top of it. You got Sing for the Moment, where he samples Aerosmith, which is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know how it couldn't be anything else would have been a 10, man.
Hey, it's up to you, bro. It's personal preference. I gave it a 9. It's not like I was trashing on it, but Square Dance, nah, not for me. Scotty, what about you?
I gave it a 9 as well. Please don't hate me.
Oh
Chuck.
my
I
God!
thought it was really, really good.
How
There
dare
were just
you, Scotty?
a few moments where I felt like it would have been better in just a few moments with a little bit more help from Dr. Dre. But for the most part, for a mainly self-produced album,
He doesn't need help.
Pretty great. It was the self-production was almost as good as Igor. It was almost there, bro.
Why you got to do him like that, Dean?
I had to. But
Igor's not a rap album.
moving on. Memorability. I already know what Chuck's score is going to be.
No, I gave it an 8 actually.
Oh my God!
You gave
What?
it an 8? What do you?
You gave it an 8?
Here was my
Crack? Heroin? What is it?
Here was my rationale for it. The Stans remember this album as one of the best. Other than the Stans, nobody remembers it.
What?
They'll remember it for, bro. They'll remember it for like Till I Collapse and like Without. And they'll remember those songs.
Drake dropped a song like within the last month that directly quotes the line off of Superman, where it's like one thing that I do know, these hoes they come and go Monday or like Saturday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday. Yo, he quotes that exact bar. The biggest rapper in the world.
It's because Drake steals lines from everybody, bro.
Bro, come on.
He goes off the.
No, Drake is not that dumb, bro. He's not going to steal off of one of the most widely, like, positively regarded albums of all time. It's homage. It's paying homage, bro. I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9.
I gotta say, too, man, I don't think Drake was stealing. I think he was, like,
deliberate. Bro, Drake stole from what's his face?
Soulja Boy?
Look,
yeah, but Soulja Boy's a nobody, though.
We can talk about Drake's issues
Young Draco.
another time. But I'm just saying,
I wouldn't call him nobody.
Young Money Draco, big soldier. But, no, 9 out of 10. Till I Collapse, iconic. Without Me, iconic.
Absolutely. I'm no argument.
Yeah, no argument.
No argument for me.
Yeah, man. I don't see how you gave this an 8, but I will let the Eminem stand.
Just because, like, you think of Eminem's best albums.
Yeah.
Albums that usually come to mind are Slim Shady
and Marshall Mathers.
Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers. I'm gonna kill you later, Deem.
Yeah.
And this one always comes up like in his discography, but you never really like dig that much deeper into it. At least from because I tried to be unbiased because like obviously this is my favorite album ever. Mm-hmm. So I try to like look at it through somebody else's eyes, and honestly, like I don't really see that many people talking about it. So that's kind of where my head was at.
Okay.
I'm not saying like of course you got Till I Collapse and Without Me and obviously Sing for the Moment.
You betrayed the album.
Obviously this album's iconic. And yeah, I guess Drake stole a bar off of it, man.
He didn't steal the bar. I'm not even like a big Drake fan, and you're heating me. You're making me heated, bro. Okay, Scotty, what do you? Enough of the Eminem stand.
I gave it a 9 for memorability. Kind of like you were talking about, Chuck. The one thing that dropped it down.
Oh my god!
Just listen to me.
You're
The
giving
one
me
thing,
scores.
the
I'm
one
not
thing
good
that
at
dropped
all.
it down a point was, like Chuck said, when you think of his catalog, the Marshall Mathers LP and Slim Shady LP, they're probably more iconic, more outrageous, and so that's kind of what dropped it down just a point for me. But otherwise, it's a phenomenal album. It's very highly regarded, and I think it's sold like over 1 million copies in the first week. Like obviously, it's pretty widespread.
Oh my god!
So
Really?
I gave it a 9,
1 million copies?
something like that, man.
Isn't
It
that
was crazy.
platinum? Doesn't
I
that
think
mean
it
it
went
went?
diamond.
No, I think diamond's 10 million.
No, like by the end, it went diamond.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that wraps it up, boys. So
Well, we got to give our total scores.
I gave it
Alright,
an 83.
83. I give it a 93.
83. That seems kind of low, Dean, for a classic.
Well, the only thing that dropped it down was the album narrative. The rest of it was like all 8s and 9s.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
One sec,
Scotty's
boys.
doing the calculations.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 88.
Okay.
Seems kind of low. Scotty.
Oh, there goes.
Hey, come on, man. You gave it like an 83.
Oh, there goes Scotty's camera.
This guy's camera.
Oh, boy.
It's all right. Chuck, what'd you get? I already know the score.
I gave it
think it's a
93.
little outrageous.
Am I back?
I gave it a 93. It's my favorite album ever, so of course I'm gonna rate it. Perfect.
Chuck, I could bump it up a few points to a 90, dog.
Dude,
I'm feeling a 90.
Let's just
Okay.
end this video, man.
Okay.
Let's just end. Game, take us out.
All right. As always, thank you for listening. Comment in the down below what albums you want us to review. If you have any ideas, share your thoughts on the Eminem show, Revival, any of the greatest albums, Kamikaze Revival, Eminem show, all high tier. This has been The Last Word.